Hello, you dirty potters. How are you today? In today's video, I want to talk about something that I've been trying to do for quite some time, and I've just recently gotten good at it. Don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Let me tell you what I've gone through before I get to the meat of this episode. It's standard practice in the ceramic art world to make something called test tiles. Test tiles are little tiles of clay that are bisqued and kind of formed to your preferences based on what you make, that you can put glaze on, apply them a certain way, and test them before you put them on your actual work. More recently, I've been teaching my students how to test their glazes with test tiles because so many of them are disappointed at taking glazes off the shelf and then not knowing how they're going to come out or using them incorrectly without testing them first and finding out where they really need to be on the spectrum of application, how many layers, the thickness, what clay body, things of that nature. And the answer to that is always, hey, do a test style, see how it comes out. This is a test style, and this is the most base test style I have. Usually I'll make a glaze, I want to test it, so I dip my test style, making sure I have a certain amount of layers, a certain amount of water in the glaze, and it ends up looking like this before it's fired. Every person has their own specific code they have, so RB1 is a whole thing you don't need to worry about because I named it my own nomenclature. But specific gravity 1.45 is something we generally do in the ceramic art world, and every little dot is 1 layer or 1 second underneath application dip. So this for me is 4 seconds. So I made the glaze, I dipped it in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, took it out, and that's what I get. Trust and believe that a 1 second dip is way different from a 4 or 5 second dip. It's massively different for some glazes. Once you fire this little thing off, it ends up being something like this. And this is just an example. These are not the same glaze, but as an example, you get to see what the glaze would look like underneath. Let's say this is 5 layers on top, 3 layers on the bottom. And there is a bit of a difference, seeing as the bottom turned kind of brown and the top turned mostly green. This is not only how I've been taught, but how I've been teaching people to use the most base level of test tiles. You'll notice I said the most base level of test tiles. I have a bunch of these, but these are my level 1 test tiles. Okay, we got to put these back now because I borrowed these from a place they need to be in. I have very specific organization skills. You know how many test tiles I have over there? It's more than I need. Okay, and if that one's missing, I don't know where it goes. No, it doesn't matter that I label it, I still won't know where it goes. Sooner or later, with the help of some Instagram friends, I learned how to make a slip cast mold. I bought some slip, got a slip cast mold, made my own out of a little popsicle stick that my daughter has because she likes popsicles. Buy some slip from the store, I pour this in here, wait a couple minutes, pour it out, and sooner or later, it gives me a greenware version of this. And this is my level 2 test style. I get to write something on the bottom of this, and not only do I get to write a lot of space at the bottom, it comes with a small little catch for any of my runnier glazes. Very valuable when I get into crystal glazes. This is a major step above this, mainly because I have 2 sides to test my application on. Here's an example of a finished level 2 test style. This is Greymon V2, no hold, specific gravity 1.4. I didn't use different applications, and it is a 4 second dip. There's no texture on this, and this is the only thing that fails. Not only can I do this, it looks way better when I organize it. Not only can I do this, I can also test multiple sides. This is one that I put on a 30-minute hold. 3 seconds, I dipped it just like this, and this side is a 5 second dip, and it ran. I have 2 different applications now. I can now figure out how to apply this glaze based on this test style. 3 seconds, 5 seconds. That should say 1.5 specific gravity, but clearly it's really difficult to see. These 2 being the same glaze are massively different, not only because of the application, but also because of the specific gravity and the fact that this one was on a 30-minute hold at 1800 degrees Fahrenheit, and this one was not. These are my level 2 test styles. I love these things. Okay, so we know why we have level 1s. That's for initial testing. We know why we have level 2s. That's for glazes that make it past the first round. If I like a glaze, it goes to this test style. But if I love a glaze, if I truly love a glaze, and I've been working with it for a very long time, I will sooner or later go to level 3. My level 3 test styles are for glazes that I can push to the limit. This was made by a slip cast as well. This is what my level 3 test styles look like. You will notice that there's purposeful texture there now, and on top of that, it has a much bigger ring. These give me a lot more information because at the end of their cycle, they essentially look like this. This is one of my red lotus glazes. I can write so much more on the foot here, and it has way more of a catch. These are kind of specifically for crystal glazes, to be honest with you, but I've decided that if I love a glaze a lot, I will make it into one of these and put it on my glaze shelf over there. This is a lot of testing, but each and every one of these is a new filter. This is for testing glazes to see if I like them. This is glazes that I like, and these are for glazes that I love. Well, we have to have a slot over here because I watched an Old Forge video and now I'm jealous of his test styles and I really want to make my own. So what I did is I took a little Mega Man figurine and I thought to myself that I can slip cast this. This, don't laugh. This is my Mega Man slip cast that I made. I'm actually not that good at making casts yet, so a lot of the tips and tricks that I learned, or this other person who does this thing on YouTube called Tiki Tuesdays, I will link him down below. He is a joy to watch. Seriously, he's easily one of my favorite casters. And every time I watch one of his videos, he gives me a little piece of wisdom that I can carry with me through my slip casting process. This was super easy. I just mixed water and the plaster together inside a mold that looks like this. And I just did this. And this is pretty much what it is, right? It does look super sussy though, I'm not gonna lie. From this, I kind of figured if I just got a bigger plastic box, I could make something similar to like a 3-hole one, so I made this. The second I made this, I was like, I'm the best. I thought that I was built different, and I'm absolutely not. Turns out practice and experience truly is most of this art form. The traditional wisdom seems to be that you always want like an extra little piece right here to kind of take off, and the foot itself will be down here. That's not too bad with a popsicle mold because the popsicle mold already has itself an extra little foot. If you have this right here, I just leave this on and it's normal. So that's what I did with the Mega Man one as well. I just kind of left it like that, and this will act as the stand as long as it's relatively level. Put this slit back in here. Oh, that is a crazy Taco Bell sound. Without getting too much into the weeds, usually I leave a little space right here so that it can kind of have a foot. This is usually the well that people use. So most people will kind of like take this off in the form, but I like to leave it on. The plaster works by putting this super wet slip in there. It gets absorbed through the walls of the plaster because it's relatively porous in comparison to other things that it would stay on, such as like concrete and bats and whatnot. I'm not gonna leave this like this all day long because that would be a completely solid piece. I want this plaster to soak up a little bit of the plaster, and you can kind of see it shrinking over time, and then I'll pour the rest back in. It'll leave a hollow form of this little Mega Man toy that I showed you earlier. And I'm really hoping that this will be our next test style set, and it'll look amazing up on a wall somewhere. Dump it out like this, and in a few hours, this might work. Well, good morning, Dirty Potters. It has been a full day. It's been about maybe 20 hours since we poured this Mega Man cast, and now I'm gonna open it and see how it does. A little spoiler before we start, most of my casts usually set and I can take them out if I kind of jiggle them a little bit within about 7 hours or so from being poured. So most of my casts, like the one you saw me pour earlier inside this little popsicle mold, is done. You can just kind of stick your fingers in, but hey, I can see what you're typing. Most of the time you can stick your fingers in here, spread your fingers a bit, and take them out like this. So the high majority of these casts were done from the day we poured this. This should work out just fine. Ooh, there we go. Does it come out easily? Does it? Do it come out easily though? Comes out easily enough. So I have a little secret to tell you. Because I've been working with casting for just maybe about a month at this point since learning how to do it, I know the cast time of my stuff. That means that I know once I pour this, I leave it in for about 5 to 7 minutes, I pour it out, I end up taking all the little burp off, or that's what I call it at least, I put it back into my slip or whatever have you, and then after that, I let it sit. I know the sit time for my casts are about 7 to 8 hours depending on weather, right? Which means that technically, because we did this 20 hours ago, and I'm the kind of person who just doesn't sleep till the job's done sometimes, I've already made another Mega Man cast before I showed you this one. But the one that you saw me pour on the video is in fact the one I'm holding in my hand right now. This one here is a secondary one that I poured later that night. You can see a clear difference in between the two casts as I have not cut off a lot of the excess clay that needed to be cut off, but this worked pretty well. The only downside is that I didn't get the little foot pedestal that I wanted, and what you just saw me fumble with was kind of a test to see if I could keep the pedestal, but clearly there's like a side undercut where it comes off, so I can't keep it. So this is gonna be our final product. Let's clean this one up, bisque these two, and see what glazes we can put on them. These are cool. I never thought I would get to the point in my ceramic art life where not only would I learn how to slip cast, but I would be able to just kind of raw dog a Mega Man slip cast. You know what, just because I have so much of it in the studio, let's glaze both of these Red Lotus, and the one that comes out the best we'll just keep on the channel. How about that? Of course, I'm not going to glaze all the way down to the socks because I need some runnage just in case the glaze runs. But this is pretty good. A 3-second dip at 1.35 specific gravity of the new Red Lotus recipe should do just fine. And just as a backup, because I always make backups, we're going to do the same thing to this one here. So let's do a good old 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was more like 4, but you know. We're gonna put these in the kiln at cone 6 oxidation, no hold, straight up and down, nothing fancy, and we're gonna see how these two Mega Man textiles come out. God, there's so many bowls everywhere! This is freaking made of pottery or something, I swear to God. Okay, but in all seriousness, I have stopped this video mainly because the next part of this video that you're gonna see is going to be a redo of all of the Mega Man slip textile casts out there. And there's one very specific reason why. I might make some enemies right now. And almost every single one of my glazes have been coming out awful. And I truly do mean horrible. None of these glazes look like this on actual pottery. Greymon and Greymon V2 look like this on my pots, and I know I need to do in between a 2 to 3 second dip, and I can put it at cone 6, and I always have a pyrometric cone in there to measure the heat work, even though I don't have a great thermocouple, but it should not come out like this. This is not how it should come out. This is awful. I hate this. And this isn't the first time this has happened. And look, I know I seem frustrated right now, but that's because I am frustrated right now. Laguna, I would like to talk to you. Suburban garage owner to full-fledged company. I don't know what's going on with your casting slip, but I don't like it. Please fix. So more recently, I've decided to make my own casting slip. It's really easy. All you need is a recipe and a bucket. I found this recipe from Jeff Campana. I will link this recipe down below. Big shout out to Jeff Campana. He has some free recipes on Glaze that are bangers. And so this next part of the video that you're seeing is going to technically be a redo of the actual video. So the first part of the video that you just saw was all with B-Mix casting slip, and this next one, where all the tiles come out way better, is with the homemade casting slip that I made with a Jeff Campana recipe. Before I get out of here, I just want to say, I am not trying to make any enemies here, but this video is 3 months old, and the reason it's 3 months old is because I spent 2 of those months double checking and making sure my specific gravity and my viscosity and my application and my absorption and the recipes were all correct, because I wanted to make sure every single variable that I have control over was accounted for. And the only one that comes out consistently incorrect is store-bought casting slip. BT Dubs, Laguna, I love your porcelain. I love this porcelain. This is one of the main porcelains that I use. Your B-Mix casting slip though, I don't know what you're doing to it, but I don't like it. Okay, enjoy the rest of the video and make sure to click all the YouTube buttons, because I'm so sure I just lost a future sponsor. Okay, bye. Now that everything's out of the kiln, let's take a look. Firstly, here is the cone 6 pyrometric cone that came out. This is the heat work that we got, and we did technically put a small hold on this kiln at 1800 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 minutes, just in case you want to see if I actually got to cone 6 or not. I didn't do that weird thing where people put it at a cone 5.5 and hold it for an extra half an hour. I didn't do that. First, let's take a look at Greymon V2 on the Mega Man Slipcast. Ooh, that came out good. That came out really good. And this does technically run a little bit. I've made it so that it does run a little bit. But this is good. It stands up straight. This is really good. For those of you who already know, I have a Greymon recipe out there, but I had to redevelop it because the lithium carbonate was truly causing me a problem as far as the functionality of the glaze goes. And so I had to redevelop it. And so this is Greymon V2. This has no lithium in it, which is way less expensive than what I'm actually using for the real recipe now. This one didn't come out as good. This one is the Metal Garurumon glaze, and of course I name all my glazes after Digimon, but this is how it's supposed to look right there all over. If you put it a little too thick, it kills a lot of this yellow right here, and so you get it super, super clear. I think the glaze needs a little bit more water so I get less of a thick application, and it's really not supposed to run this much, to be honest with you. Now, I do have an accurate representation of what it's supposed to look like. This is actually what Metal Garurumon is supposed to look like all day, every day. Lots and lots of these, what I'm gonna call little yellow iron crystals, right? We have a good phase separation. You can see through it. There's a little bit of red, a little bit of clear black, a little bit of blue, a little bit of yellow, and this is all one glaze. This is not multiple combinations of glaze. So you can really see, oh, there's a good spot right there. You can really see what it's supposed to look like. This, unfortunately, didn't come out how it was supposed to. This was held a little bit too long, had a little bit too thick of an application on it. We also have this new blue glaze that I developed, and I've been trying to give this one to Clayscapes, actually. The cool thing about this is that it has no cobalt in it whatsoever, but it is still blue. This is actually just chrome and iron. And something that I've recently figured out, and nobody told me this, I just figured this out. If you mix a chrome-based glaze, not chrome tin, just kind of like if you have a green chrome glaze laying around, and the red lotus glaze, it makes the color blue. And I have no idea why. I'm not smart enough to know why, but here is red lotus, technically with one of my green glazes on top, and it just makes this kind of really cool blue. And so I thought to myself, what if I just make a glaze with a little bit of iron in it and some chrome? And it came out a really nice blue. And so I'm very happy with this one. This is gonna go on the shelf. Oh, what are we gonna name this one, Dante? We're gonna name it a cool icy blue, ice bait. No, we're gonna name it Garurumon because I refuse to let go of my Digimon naming trope for glazes. We're gonna name it a blue Digimon because I love wolves. Don't worry, princess. I'll protect you. And that I have been messing with Red Lotus a lot. For those of you who've been following my blog at earthnationceramics.com, you will most likely know that once I figured out how to make the deep iron saturated khaki red bippity boppity boo crystal glaze or whatever, I gave that recipe to Clayscapes. Well, I never stopped working on it. I kept working on different variations of it. And so I technically made a whole new glaze called Red Materia. At the moment, we have a lot of these variations of this glaze. Some with boron, without boron, Guernsey borate, stuff like that. A lot of different minerals to make the same molar amount for the recipe, but it comes out the same glaze every time. Let me think, by this point we have Red 13, we have Red Lotus, we have Red Materia, we have Red Ifrit, what else? Ancient Greymon is technically one. We have a bunch of them. I decided to burn one of the Mega Man test styles on one of those versions. This is Red Materia. And as you guys know on this channel, we always do double tests to make sure that we confirm the glaze works a second time. Usually I have to wait till a glaze matures for a couple days and then play with it. Well, sometimes I do it right away because I get impatient. but I'm happy to say that the glaze worked a second time as well. So now we have two different versions of this glaze, and they basically both came out exactly how I like them. I'm so happy, in fact, that I installed a new shelf inside of the garage, and well, since we're going full force, I might as well show you. I have made kind of a little collection of Mega Man test styles behind the proofs. So I have the initial test styles, I have the application tiles, which is what I call when I'm trying to test a 2-second dip versus like a 4-second dip in different specific gravity. And then if I like it enough, I also have the Mega Man test styles. So the original Red Lotus, and I put that one up there because it doesn't have a Mega Man tile yet. I got this specifically for this occasion because I love these tiles so much. That being said, thank you, Dirty Potters, for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, make sure to click all those YouTube buttons so YouTube lets me know that you like it and I get to keep making this stuff.
Thank you for your patronage.
Also, make sure you click the like button because I'm pretty sure Laguna hates me now, but I also want to be honest with my community. And because of that, if someone proves me wrong that there's nothing wrong with the slip, I will retract my words publicly and give a public apology. But for some strange reason, a lot of the commercial slip that I'm buying is not great for my glazes. Something's wrong with it, and so I just started making my own, and it's way cheaper actually to make your own. It's like a bucket and a drill and you're good to go.